Hi, I'm Rod Gilley. I've got a real treat for you today. Today I'm reviewing A Hot Dose of Hell by Steve Stark. Now, just for a moment, imagine there's a southbound train called Gripping Horror, and there's a northbound train called Screaming Action Thriller. These trains are on the same track. Boom! A hot dose of hell is born. And that is the best way I can introduce this outstanding debut novel. Wow, this thing is awesome. I'm going to tell you right up front, deserves 5 stars, deserves twice 5 stars. This is one of the best books I've read all year, and maybe in the last several years. This is a real treat. I'll have a link down in the description where you can grab a copy. Grab a copy of this. If you love a good horror story, this is the one. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it now. First, I want to let you know that the story opens with Roxy and Kenny, and they're in a town called Skarmouth, and it's a rundown, beat up town, and they stay in this uh, decrepit old abandoned hotel. Now, Roxy and Kenny, they're junkies. They're just straight up street. They're junkies, and they have all the attributes that you would expect. And they are quite a pair. And then they encounter this fellow named John, and John introduces them to something that definitely causes a turning point in their lives. Now, we cut from there to another part of the area, and we meet Roxy Kane. Now, Roxy is not a junkie. Rocky's actually a very athletic, intelligent, capable woman. And she's strong-minded, confident. She's quite an interesting character. In addition to that, Rhonda is Roxy's sister. Now, much to my surprise, Rhonda gets an odd group of people to provide her with the ride to get down to Skarmouth, where she wants to find her sister, Roxy, and hopefully get her up out of her current life, bring her to Roxy's life, try to help her. She wants to help her sister. It's a strange group of people that she chooses to travel with, let me tell you. So then we move on in the story a little bit and we meet Fred and Pinky. Now, these are some cool dudes. They're pretty much thugs, kind of gangsta. Uh, but man, these guys have a lot of layers, a lot of depth, and they're two of my favorite characters in the whole story. Uh, they're really awesome. And then at this point, all of these different characters kind of come together. And man, is it explosive. I mean, one thing I've got to say about this book, it is a rocking, thrilling, action-packed story. The pace is a heart-pounding pace. You are thriving through this story, thudding your heart, bouncing off the walls, following everything that happens in this story. The author, Steve Stark, did an amazing job with the pacing in this story. Just absolutely fantastic. So we move on in the story a little bit and we meet Hancock and his crew. That's a totally unexpected little bit there. They are an interesting crew, not the kind of people you really want to know. You don't really want to even think they exist. Now, I'm sure they do exist. That's something to think about. When you read the story, you'll know exactly what I mean. And then we meet our friend Herman. Now, Herman is a very interesting little character. I liked him a lot. He's kind of nerdy, kind of a not too sure of himself kind of fellow. but he is a very critical part of the story and a very interesting character in his own right. And Herman guides us toward the end of the story. This story, throughout the whole thing, is an amazing story. But one of the things that make it absolutely superb is the fantastic ending. The ending is a homage, or homage, however you pronounce that. It's a tribute. That's what I'll call it. I'll say it's a tribute to Sir Alfred Hitchcock. I think about Hitchcock and immediately comes to mind one of my favorite of his shows was The Birds. Fantastic, fantastic movie. And this could easily be considered, in a way, a tribute to Hitchcock. An incredible, amazing, thought-provoking, fantastic ending. Oh, you'll be blown away. So doing this review, you've noticed probably that I've mostly mentioned the characters. That is because this book could really be a textbook in a writing class on how to develop characters. Throughout the story, each of the characters, the ones I've named and others, you either love them or you hate them. There's very few neutral characters. The ones you love, you really feel their emotions. You feel what they're going through. You understand them. The ones you don't love, ooh, you're growling at them. You don't like these. Not one bit. This book, the characters are so well developed that it accomplishes what every writer hopes to accomplish, and that is to touch the reader's emotions, to really grasp them. And this book does it with style. You will really care about these characters. There are parts in this book that nearly brought me to tears, and I'm not prone to that. There's always, all over this book, exciting parts that make you sit on the edge of your seat, turning each page. There's just no way you could put the book down. This book has everything. I could talk for an hour and a half, and I would never get tired of praising it. Now, I buy an ebook, always, to check it out and see what I think of a book. The really special ones, the ones that really get my attention, I'll go back and buy a hard copy for my bookshelf. Oh, yes, A Hot Dose of Hell by Steve Stark will definitely be on my bookshelf. So as I said early on, this is definitely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, a 5-star story. If you love a good horror story, maybe you're not even much of a horror fan, but you love a lot of action and strong emotion in a story, this is one book you just absolutely have to read. You're reading in your lifetime. The joy of all your reading won't be complete until you've read this one. I can't praise it enough. This is one fantastic story. Well, that's my review of A Hot Dose of Hell from Steve Stark. Can't wait to see more of his work as time goes by. He also did a fantastic little collection of short stories called Violent Ends. I read that one too, and it was fantastic. This guy can write. So look him up on Amazon, check him out. I've got some links in the description where you can find Steve, also where you can find both of his books. You won't be disappointed. 5 stars all the way. The highest recommendation I give to this book. You'll really enjoy it. Well, I hope you liked this review, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.